Hey, this is Coach Pat with a message for professional athletes about grief. Now, grief is not really a topic that we talk about daily. We usually think about grief when somebody passes away. For instance, my dad passed away last year, so we talk about the emotions associated with that, remembering somebody's life. But grief is much bigger than just somebody passing away. Grief is any time we experience significant loss. And for athletes, this can be being traded, this can be cut, released, retired, not optioned, whatever. Whenever there's a significant change, we feel grief. And grief has five pretty predictable stages. This is one of the most researched things out there. So let me walk you through the stages. So the first stage of grief is denial, right? I got cut. I got traded. They can't do this. This isn't happening. I don't believe this. All that kind of stuff where we don't really fully take in the reality of the situation. Pretty normal reaction to grief. The second stage of grief is anger. How could this be happening to me? People don't understand. I'm undervalued. I'm underappreciated. They just don't get it. Was all of this work I put in the off season or whatever, was it really worth it? It's easy to feel really angry. Where's God in all of this stuff? Why is this happening to me? The third stage of grief is bargaining, where we start to say, well, you know what, maybe if I do this, I can get on with another team, or I can start a comeback, or I can do something different, or I'll get another chance. And we look at ways to recreate the thing that we have lost. And the fourth stage of grief is sadness and sometimes depression, where the totality of the loss really starts to set in. Like, actually, I'm not going to be playing again. Or actually, I really did get traded. Or my career really is over. And the totality of that sets in, and oftentimes this is where guys get isolated. This is where drug, alcohol, gambling, pornography stuff can become a serious issue. And finally, the fifth stage of grief is acceptance, where we say, okay, yep, I get it. I'm not going to be doing this thing that I've done for 20, 25 years. I need to move on to the next stage in my life. And the tricky part with grief is it would be nice if we just kind of went through these five stages nice and cleanly and finished one and went to the other. It doesn't work quite that well. Grief kind of ping pongs back and forth. And I like to tell people grief comes in waves. You think, oh, okay, well, I'm fine. I'm over it. I'm not angry anymore. And then all of a sudden you read an article, you have a conversation, you hear a song, you see a video, and you get angry all over again. You know what? That's normal. Okay, grief comes and goes. It's very intense at the beginning, like water is rushing onto your ship and you're not sure you can survive. And then it starts to dissipate, it starts to go down. But every once in a while, a new wave comes in. Don't panic on that. That's very normal things. And some people spend longer times in different stages. Some people, anger is a real issue. Other people, sadness is a real issue. Here's the deal on grief. Grief is most dangerous when it's not acknowledged. And for lots of men, it's like, I'm fine, especially high alpha, macho males. It's easy to say, oh, no, I'm fine. I got this. Actually, we probably don't have this, right? The emotions are there. And if we choose not to acknowledge them, they will leak out in other areas, in negative relationships around us, in irritation, in anger, in drug alcohol issues, lots of ways things leak out. So my thought to you on grief is, first of all, it's a natural thing. Acknowledge it, understand what stage you're in, and a couple things that can be really helpful in grief. One is journaling, right? Reflecting on what's happening. It gives you a sense of control. in the process. And you don't have to write every day. You don't have to write paragraphs. Even writing a few sentences can make a huge difference. And the second thing is talking to a professional, whether that's a counselor, a coach. It helps to express our emotions. It helps us work through the stages. Guys who get stuck in grief are guys who have unexpressed emotions. So this is Coach Pat with a message on grief. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.